have called dead bug pose. So what you'll do is you'll lie on your back. And I'm going to do this too, so hopefully you can see me. And you kind of dangle your arms and your legs in the air, and then you shake. And you want to try to like have everything be as loose as it can, which you'll probably find like your wrists are more cooperative with that looseness than your legs. So I used this when I taught yoga to kids, and I called it dead bug. And they said, well, if it's a dead bug, it wouldn't be moving. So then I decided it was dead bug in an earthquake. So just kind of create this movement. And it's really quite a nice way of releasing your muscles, releasing tension in your body. So if you can keep going for a few more breath cycles, keep on shaking it out a bit. Maybe even get your head moving a little bit. And just kind of letting your body respond to the shaking that's happening in your arms and your legs. And continuing for maybe just a couple more breath cycles here. And then just letting everything release. So legs stretched out if that's comfortable for you, or knees bent and feet flat. But letting yourself come to stillness and just kind of noticing the after effects of that shaking out. And make sure that you are comfortable as you come to stillness. So in a moment, as you're settling in, so feel free to get a pillow under your head, under your knees, cover yourself up, covering your eyes, making sure you have what you need so that you're comfortable, your body can be at ease. And as you're settling in, let your attention come to your natural breath. And in this way of just observing the breath. So our mind's faculty of segregating things into good and bad, right and wrong, like and dislike is very well developed. And the part of our minds that is more curious, more open, tends to be less well developed. So seeing if you can practice that faculty as you're watching your breath. So there's nothing good or bad, right or wrong, nothing to evaluate about your breath. You're simply watching your body breathe in and your body breathe out. So cultivating this capacity for awareness without judgment, as well as this capacity for focus. So our minds tend to drift around quite a bit. I'm sure you've noticed, especially if you've worked with meditation at all. So it's inviting our minds to focus on one thing, like the breath, is also part of brain or mindfulness training. The breathing practice that I'm going to have you work with this evening is called Viloma, which literally translates as against the grain. The breathing practice is often also called stop action breath. So as always, anytime you're doing a breathing practice, the most important thing is that you are staying within a range that's comfortable. You want to have a state of ease. So if you find yourself straining or striving to work with this practice, then let it go and breathe in a natural way. So this has 2 stages. And in stage 1, we're going to work with that stop action on the inhaling breath. So in preparation for this Viloma practice, you'll take a breath in and out. And then as you breathe in, you'll breathe in to a count of 2, and then you'll stop breathing in and count to 2. And then you'll continue breathing into another count of 2, and then stop there for a count of 2. And you'll continue like that, counting to 2, pausing, counting to 2, inhale, and then retaining the breath at the top for a count of 5 to 10. And then you'll make a long, smooth, exhaling breath. And then you'll take a couple rounds of natural breathing. So not controlling the breath, once again, simply being with your body, breathing in and breathing out, not managing it, not adjusting it in any way, just aware of breath in and breath out. And then taking another round. So you'll breathe in naturally. Breathe out completely. And then breathe into a count of 2. Pause to a count of 2. Breathe into. Pause 2. And continuing that until you feel that the breath is full, the inhalation is full, and not so full that you're straining, but just a nice level of fullness. And then you retain to a count of 5 or 10, whatever you can do comfortably. And then a long, slow exhaling breath. And then once again, natural breathing. You're just allowing your breath to be as it is. Not managing or coercing your breath, not judging or critiquing. Simply breathing in and out with awareness. And then we'll take another round of the stage 1 of Viloma breathing. So in preparation, you'll take a full breath in and a complete breath out. Breathe in to a count of 2. Pause to a count of 2. Breathe in more to a count of 2. And pause there to a count of 2. And continuing until you have a nice sense of fullness, not a strained or heroic fullness. Pausing there at a count of 5 to 10. And then inviting that exhaling breath to be slow and smooth. For those of you who know Ujjayi, you can even use your Ujjayi practice on that exhalation. And then a couple rounds of natural breathing. Again, just easy breath in, easy breath out. We're going to take 2 more rounds of this stage 1 of Viloma breathing. So in preparation, once again, natural breath in, complete breath out, and then breathing into a count of 2, pausing for a count of 2, into, pause 2, continuing to just the right level of fullness for you. And try not to judge how many counts of 2 you can fit in. Again, just kind of being with, being aware, being open and curious, retaining that inhalation for a count of 5 to 10. And then that long, smooth exhalation, maybe ujjayi if that's a comfortable practice that you know, but it's totally fine just to have a long, smooth exhaling breath. And then natural breathing. And then we'll take 1 more round of stage 1 Viloma breathing. So in preparation, a nice full breath in. A comfortably complete breath out. And then breathing in to a count of 2. Pausing at 2. And continuing into a count of 2. Pause to a count of 2. To a comfortable for you level of fullness. At that level of fullness, counting to 5 or 10, retaining the breath in. And then that long, smooth exhalation. And then natural breathing. So just resting for a moment, natural breathing in and out, awareness on your breath, and of course noticing when your awareness drifts off your breath. And that's fine, it's just what our minds do. So when you notice that your attention has drifted off, being with your body breathing in and your body breathing out. And in a moment, we'll do stage 2, which I'll just explain briefly before we go into it. So you'll take that long, smooth inhaling breath. So you'll inhale in one go using ujjayi practice if that's comfortable, familiar for you. And then at the top of that inhalation, you'll retain the breath for a count of 5 or 10, whatever's comfortable. And then it will be the exhale that goes in the count of 2. So exhale to a count of 2, pause for a count of 2, exhale 2 more counts. So continuing like that until you have a feeling of emptiness, till the exhalation is complete. And then you'll breathe naturally. So in preparation for this stage 2, take a breath in and a breath out. And then a nice full breath in. And at the top of that inhalation, counting to 5 or 10, whatever's comfortable for you. And exhaling in that broken up count. So exhaling to a count of 2, and then pausing there, just retaining that level of exhalation for a count of 2. And then exhaling 2 more counts. Pausing to a count of 2, and again, continuing just to a level that's comfortable. So especially stressing the exhale can create some agitation in your system. So being careful, you just do it to a comfortable level. And then you'll breathe naturally. Take a couple of natural breaths. And then we'll take another round of this stage 2 of Viloma breathing. So in preparation to kind of synchronize us, take a breath in and a breath out. And that nice, long, smooth inhalation, ujjayi, if that works for you. Pausing at the top of that full inhalation. And then that counting to 2, exhale, pausing, counting to 2, and continuing to your kind of just right level where it feels comfortable. And then you take a few natural breaths. And then we'll take 2 more rounds of this stage 2 Viloma breathing. So in preparation for this next round, take a breath in and a breath out. And then a nice, long, smooth inhalation. At the top of the inhalation, pausing to count to 5 or 10, what's comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, exhaling in those increments of 2. So exhale to a count of 2, pause right there at that level of exhalation to a count of 2, and then continuing in those 2 by 2 increments until your exhalation feels like a comfortable level of complete. And then taking a few cycles of natural breath, aware of body and breath. And then taking one more round of this stage 2 Viloma breathing. So in preparation, a natural breath in and a natural breath out. And then a long, smooth inhalation. Pausing at the top of the inhalation for a count of 5 or 10. And then exhaling in those broken up increments of 2. So exhaling to a count of 2, pausing at that level of exhalation for a count of 2, and continuing like that. Exhale 2, pause 2, until you're at just the right level of empty, where you're not being forceful, trying to push every last bit of breath out, but there's a comfortable level of complete exhale. And then once again, breathing naturally. So settling into what we call in yoga shavasana, or that resting position at the end of our practice. Just being aware of what you notice about how your body is feeling, how your breath is moving. Noticing your state of mind. Good night.